Welcome to another ShuBuilds tutorial, and today we're gonna be building kitchens.
Yeah, mão pro alto, já tava te vendo. É assalto, olha minha Draco. Não é clique de Canon. Lanço mais.
Alright, like I mentioned, today we're gonna be building kitchens, and we're gonna be building them in this style. It's gonna be like a mixture between wood and have we got a name? What do we call this stuff? Granite. There we go. So the color pattern is gonna be quill gray for the granite, and then cashmere for the wood. As you guys can see right here, I made two of the same squares on each side. That's because I want to make sure that you guys can build this on either the Game Pass to have advanced placement or without. So I want to make two versions of almost identical, but then one without the Game Passes. So the people that don't have the Game Passes can still build a semi-equally looking kitchen. Also, as you can, you probably saw in one of the builds, we used the splash screens. I'm going to be using them on this one occasionally too, and if you guys want to do that and make sure that you can actually tile them neatly next to each other, you want to use the plain square painting, so the one with the dominoes on it. Alright, and as you can see, they fit exactly right next to each other. Most of this is going to be hidden below the counter, but we'll get there when we get there. Also, a lot of times people build their house from the exterior first and then the interior, and then try to figure out how to make everything fit. So generally they have like this small room where they're going to be putting the kitchen, and then they have like several windows blocking the walls. This can cause you to be unable to either without advanced placement put the shelves that you see here, well, the shelves that you would normally put smaller objects on just to decorate, either that or other stuff that you want to put on the walls. And of course, without the advanced placement, you won't be able to put the counters against the wall because the window is going to be in the way. Now you can fix that by removing the window first and then putting the window afterwards. But it's gonna look messy, mainly because these cabinets without advanced placement has a lot of space where you cannot put them, as you can see. So if you place this first and then the window, you're gonna have the problem that most of this is going to be covered by the cabinets. Now this is an easy way to do this, so removing the window or placing it somewhere else until you made the whole kitchen, and then afterwards put the windows where you want them. But mainly you're gonna have the problem that other than that the curtains are gonna go through it. The window is going to go through it as well. It looks, personally, it looks ugly. Now if you don't mind that either way because you want to keep the exterior look the same, then by all means do it that way. So without further ado, let's begin. Like I said, we're going to be using these two colors, so the cashmere, the black for the handles, and then the quill gray for the top. This is just going to be the wooden types of kitchens. Basically you can use any kind of textures that you want, but we're going to be using this. Also, if you want to use pillars or the beams, generally you want to keep it the same color, but if you want to really pop it out, instead of just making it all blend together, use a slightly darker one like this, so the whole kitchen looks a little bit better. There's also, of course, these pillars that are used a lot. I'm going to show you guys as well how to make those blend in without the Game Pass. This problem is that you cannot place them when they're inside without the Game Pass. But if you do it the other way around, so you put the pillars first, you can put, you can put these like this. Let me get a little closer. And then you can still have the pillar inside. Now this is however you want to do this, but we'll get to that. So first and foremost, you want to make sure that your stove is somewhere where you wanted to have it first. We're going to be doing the 4x4, so the biggest issue is if you place it like right there in the dead center, you're gonna have a problem going out the corner, especially if you don't have the Game Pass. Either go one side or keep it the center. For now we're gonna be doing the center because we do have the Game Pass, so we're gonna be doing it a little bit different than the other one. So we got the stove where we want it. We're gonna be using this one for the bigger kitchens. It's, well, let's do it for this one too. Let's see how it looks like. Also, these, if you're gonna be for going for the aesthetics, always use these for sinks, because drawers don't look really good under a sink, because it doesn't look good in real life either. Now, if you want to go around this corner and do all this, then probably you want to keep this one for last. It's gonna be in the way. Right now we're gonna be using the drawers on the sides. And also, this side we're gonna do differently because we wanna add the fryer on that side. Now it's personal preference how you want to do this, but I like to do it this way because everything blends together a little bit better, personally. As you can see, it will fill up by itself. Now, if you want to use a island in the middle right here, you want to stop right here and then add the fridge on the side and then one more counter on the other. That way you have enough walking space here too. But I personally don't like to use an island in the middle because it takes up too much space and it makes it really hard to move around in. Now, if you want to still have something right there in the middle, I suggest using a table. In this case, an industrial table is the nicest because it takes up the least amount of space. If you have the advanced placement, let's put this on this right now. See, you can stack these on top of each other, like this, and then of course make sure that it's in the dead center. One right there, and then one right there, and then you can still have chairs right here. Now this is, personally, I just like to leave it open. Let's put these away for a second, and also the colors that they need to be. We're going to be using an island instead. As you can see, it works if you keep it on one island and then have like two chairs. I'm using the wrong island, by the way. I'm going to use the one that doesn't have never. Because we're only going to be using one. We can put it like this. As you can see, it's just one single one, but it gives you a longer counter. So this is purely for the 4x4. If you want to have a kitchen that is small and accessible, if there's, for example, here a wall. and then keep it like this. And then we put this one right here. And then this right here. I usually like to use the plates as well, purely for aesthetics. But if you have a kitchen this small, you want to make sure that you have enough of the shelf cabinets, so that you can put your appliances high. Don't have to worry about them being in the way. Like I would do right now, right here. Now for this corner right here, I generally use things like shelves, just to create a little bit more detail. And you can fill these shelves with bottles and plants and whatever else you want to add there. Either that, or of course you can just add another shelf right here to fill it up. But you're gonna have the problem that it doesn't connect right here. So I think this looks better. And of course, for some chairs right here. For now, let's use these. So you can see black is the most apparent right here when you use it for other things. So I think the black works with this style right here. And of course the appliances we can put in here so that we can save some counter space, especially important when you make a kitchen this small. Where did the toaster go? No toaster. So you can see for these I use the metal, mainly because if you use the wood, it's gonna look a little weird. So generally these appliances are not made of wood. You can also make these a more apparent color like white or anything else so that you can see them easier. But for this tutorial we're just gonna keep it. Oop, I don't want to take everything. Keep it like this. And like I said, you can use the shelves that are in the corner right here to add some little aesthetics. Like bottles or whatever else you want. Now as for the paintings, we can do this right now with advanced placement, but this is not something you can do without. At least not the way that I'm doing it right now. Again, if you things on the wall, you don't want this thing in the way. You want to put these about this height, so it would be almost against the floor. Let's see if it fits with the yeah, this is not the right tiles. So you guys can see there's going to be a little spot right there in the middle. And if you remember from the video, the way that I fixed that is by adding two pillars right next to the stove right here and right there. Now that we have the fire right here, that's going to be an issue. The easiest way to fix that is creating a little gap right here. And adding the deep fire right there. And then we can use these pillars or the square pillars that I used on the other build. I like the square pillars more, so they don't take up as much space and they still look decent. Remember to use a slightly different color, just to create a little bit of detail. If you want to just keep it the same, just keep it the same color and then place them right there on top of the empty spaces. As you can see right here, there's going to be a little then right there we add another counter right there. Check this off. And then we get something like this. Now for this, I suggest us going with the same. So it looks part of the wood. Then you got your little simple kitchen. This is a 4x4 idea. You can of course change this any way you want, just like I did. But if you want to keep this neat, I generally don't use this one because it's gigantic. And you want to try and conserve as much space as you can with the smaller kitchens. So then I use this one instead. So that way you can still have more of these right here. And same on the other side. Then use the small one right there in the middle. This way gives you more space to play around with, create more shelves here, or whatever you want to do. So this is the basic idea for the Advanced Game Pass. Now, to try and do the same thing on the other side, without these Game Passes, one of the biggest problems that you're gonna have is trying to fit the counters and the shelves. First and foremost, you got this basic thing. Now we're gonna go for the exact same style that I ended up with right here. You want to keep that extra space in. You don't want to push things too much together, because you cannot move the shelves in these corners like I did over here. We can move this a little bit closer though. I think it's gonna matter that much for the shelves. Now, one of the things that you cannot do without the Game Passes is put one of these cabinets on top, as you can see. So what normally is what you do is use the small ones, the half ones, on both sides, and then move it a little bit closer on each side, like you see here, a little bit closer. There you go. Then you still get the same effect. It closes off as you do with the other side. Let me create some of these over here. And this would be a kitchen without the game passes. Now if you want to have the shelves, I'm gonna have to close that thing, it keeps being in the way. Now if you want to use the shelves that I used in the corner right here, I suggest putting them right here. It's a nice little look on your little kitchen. And for the splash screen on no game pass, if you want to use this, you're gonna have to move the Countess 1 forward so that you can put it right behind it. Show you. Gonna have to take the shelves away too. I'm gonna have to take everything away, but so you can see you cannot put it against the wall anymore. So what you do is move it one little block in front of it, so as close as possible you can do it like this, which is one little block away from the wall. This is the same when you have like windows and stuff like that, so that your appliances or your closets or your counters don't go through the window. It's also the same if you have the game pass. It sometimes happens, especially with corners, but then you would still have your I didn't place this in the middle. You still have your little splash screen if you want to use it, same way that you did on the other side. Of course, you have to place this before you do everything else, because you're also going to have problems with the counters, which you also have to do the exact same thing with, one block away. But you can still have a splash screen even without the advanced placement. Alright, so this is for the 4x4. Hope you guys could follow that. Now, normally this is the size kitchen that I use if I'm gonna use islands in the middle. Mainly because it gives you enough space to walk around and create a nice little island. My personal favorite is this one, because it creates a nice little island that you can go sideways with. We'll get there when we get there. First one. Again, always figure out where you want your stove to be, because everything has to kind of blend together around it. Now if you want a dead center and you walk into the kitchen this way, I usually generally like it to have it right there in the middle. Some people like it on the side, but this is completely up to you how you want to do this. I like it when you walk into the kitchen you can see the stove right there in the middle. For this one we are going to be using the big one. I'm going to be using this one right here, so we're going to be creating some details around this. One of this is going to be this one. Now also make sure that if you don't want these pillars to show on the outside, just put them like right there in front of it. You can still go one closer like this, right there. As you can see, you don't see anything from the other side. This creates a nice little effect that I have going on right here. You can have a shelf right there, and create like a timer or something else that you want to use right there in the middle. And for a timer they generally use the alarm clock. I can basically put anything you want there, but this works for me. And then I'm not going to be using this one, too big still. I'm going to be using this one. And then we got our little stove right here. Now for this one, I do think we're gonna be using the other one. Use this one. This one right here. So I think we're gonna be putting the sink right here. And also the reason I leave this little space open here, so that you can put some decorations or whatever you want right there without it messing up your counter. Then use the drawers on the sides. Like that. Now this is a very, very big kitchen. Normally you don't make kitchens this big. So you don't really need this much space being used for kitchens. So what most people end up doing is using this space in the corner to put a table, so that you can have the dining table in your kitchen as well. Like right there. And then use your island going this way, so that you can walk into the kitchen and everything else. For this one, we're going to be using the deep fry on this side. And for the plumbing, of course, it's this one. Same thing for this one. Of course I used the wrong counters on this one, but same here. This way you still have some extra space here as well to put some things. And these are the squared versions. On the last one I'm going to show you if we're going to go sideways. For now we're going to be just going square. Also for this, I think this looks better. It's my personal preference. Now for these counters, the islands, I do end up using either these pillars or the round pillars. The round pillars takes up a lot less space and can make you be able to do a few other things that I like to do on the end pieces, and one of them is the staircase, or there's a ladder right there. Creates a nice little end piece. Let's see. There you go. Now same thing again with the things right here. Also, remember, if you're cooking and stuff like that, don't put these close to where you're cooking, or at least cutting things, because there's a high chance that you're gonna end up clicking on these by accident, and then have the problem that you're gonna have the problem that you stop your cooking midway and then have to start all over again. And then for the other sides, this. Now there's different ways that we can do this one. A lot of people do this as well, where they this one here, where they add the extra cabinets right above the island. It also creates more shelves for you. This is something that you like. It's just opening right in here like a bar. I personally usually don't do this, but if you like this look, go for it. Now as for the chairs on this one, let's go luxury. You want to use this as a big dining table for 6 people. Get an extra block per square right here. You can get to the chairs. And one extra one here because of walking into the kitchen. If you don't mind either way, just put it right there. Or if this doorway is open, like when you have arches or whatever, you can put it this way. But I suggest always keeping it as far to the side as possible, or creating a different room entirely for this, so that you can keep this open and create more kitchen sides. Again, personal preference, whatever you prefer. Suggest going with that. Now, without the game passes, wait, this. Like I said, usually I like it to put these right next to the this right here, because it personally I like the look of it, so it doesn't stick out on the sides. This is completely up to you what you like, but I like doing this. Looks nice, I think. Also, if you want to use the other appliance, well, decorations, like the knives, come up. You want to put these against the wall. I like to put them more on the sides, because most of the time you won't be cutting that much here, unless you need the extra space. But you do it on the sides, right next to the stove. So here's your quick place, and here's your extra. You have other people cooking as well. You always want to be as close as possible to either your fridge or your stove. That's why most people also put their fridge a lot closer to their stove. So like I said earlier, put your stove right here, right next to the fridge, so that you can cook faster. So if you like leveling up or whatever, it goes faster. So you have everything right next to each other. So this is the Game Pass. Now let's go for the no Game Pass. Try it again. I'm gonna start with the stove first. Right there in the middle. Now for the pillars. Putting 2 right next to each other is not gonna work. So you are gonna have a space right there. And a space right there next to the stove. So what I normally do, if you want to have to use the 2 pillars, I'm not going to be using these, because you can almost put them against each other when you use the plain pillars. So I got one plain pillar right there all the way in the back. As you can see, they're almost against each other. Now it doesn't look like, personally I don't like it. So for this tutorial I'm gonna be using these. But If you want to close it off like I did with the Game Pass version, by all means go for that one. But right now we're going to be using these. Now there's another issue with no Game Passes that I'm going to show you in a second. And that is the distance right here with the counters. Well, with the cabinets. As you can see right now, I put these right here. They're not gonna connect here because they're too far away. So this is a problem that you're gonna have if you're gonna use the pillars right here. Now, if you don't mind this look, by all means go for that. Normally what I would like to do here is not to use the glass hood and instead keep it open for like a window or something like that, but that's up to you. We're gonna keep it like this for now, and because we're not gonna be connecting these, you can use the shelves. We're gonna be using the shelf on this side. And shelf on this side. I should say shelf cabinet, but force of habit on that one. Now, another thing is that you're going to be noticing is the distance right here. So, I want to make sure that this is like right in the center. When you have it 2x2, you want to use another shelf right here. This tutorial we're going to be using another shelf here just to create the squared corner. Now again, if you're going to be as you can see, the pillars are now inside. Even though we don't have the advanced placement, they still go inside of the sink, inside of the counter. Get a sink right here. I personally don't like to put the sink right here because I want to be able to cook. But that's up to you where you want to place those extra stuff. And then we got our little kitchen right here. Now again, if you want to use a stove on the side, right next to the fridge, that's easier for when you just want to level up your cooking. If you don't, just keep it like that. Now as for the ladder style that I did over there, we can't do this also without Game Passes. These right here. Make sure this is set all the way at the maximum. And just place it as close as possible. See, and then you still have your little ladder effect. Pillars on the sides. I went too far in, though. See, and then you still kind of create the same effect as you would when you do have the Game Passes. Now, for the no Game Passes, as you can see, these basic kitchens can be made even without the Game Pass. This would be a no Game Pass kitchen. The only difference would be if you use these pillars, you cannot connect the shelves right here or the cabinets. So you're gonna have to leave this open. This is completely up to you how you want to do this one. So these are the squared kitchens. Now let's go sideways. One of the things when you have your house with this corner, what I like to do is create a wall right here. And the reason why I do that is because in this case we're going to be using the stove right here. Normally I don't put the stove right here because of the wood. And because of this. As you will notice, the counters go inside of it. Now there's no way of fixing that. So what I normally do is put it one away and put the counter right there. And then for the let's put some more counters. This one I do like to keep this one close. Some drawers right here. So you can see everything is semi-close to each other. So also when you put the sink in, don't put it right here, because as you can see, it's the overlapping of the counters is going to be a problem. I'm going to show through it. Keep it on this side. So this way you can cook everything right there in the corner. You can level up your cooking easy and everything else. This one is one longer. Because of the fire. So right there. Now again, the same thing happens with the shelves, the cabinets. Put these in the corner. They overlap. So I don't suggest using the shelved cabinets here, because they're gonna go through each other in the corners. But instead, just use shelves. Actual shelves, which I did here, to fill this side up a little bit. And the other thing that I sometimes do as well here is put pillars right there against, so that you can fill these little corners right here. In this case, we're going to be using the plain pillar. Of course, we have the same problem that you want to do this before you put the counters right there. Now again, if you make these pillars part of your shelves or whatever else, just make them the same color so it all looks like it blends together. And that way you don't have to worry about these shelves having like this small crevice of opening right here. Either that or use the rounded ones. The rounded ones also work. The big, the round thick pillars. You give them the same texture. It blends better with the corners here. This is of course entirely up to you how you want to make this look. Now for this side, usually what I do is add the shelf with the coffee and everything else over here. So normally you don't go all the way over here to cook or do anything else. You don't have to worry about accidentally clicking these. But they're nice and far away from you. And when you need them, you will go there. There we go. And then for this time we're gonna have to use it for something. Let's use it for this one. Look, I'm leaving this port thing out. It's not gonna work for this one either, is it? Well, let's make it work. That works. And then use this one there. Not there. But there. Works. A normal closet on the side. Where are you, normal closet? There you go. Now for the island, I do like to use the sideways as well, and this time I'm going to be using the end pieces as well with the tiny pillar right there. Where are you? Here. You want to find the center point first. It's going to be right here. This would be the dead center. Get a little bit more walking space. This also depends if you want to use a table or a dining table inside of your kitchen. This type of kitchen is more than big enough, because it's going to be the open space of a corner right here, so you can walk into like the dining or the living room or whatever. You can use this space just to have an island. And I like to make it go slightly sideways here sometimes, like this. Create a little bit more of a rounded effect for the island. The only problem with that is if you have decorations that you're going to be putting on top of it, it's going to be really hard to put them exactly where you want them. So for this stuff, we're going to be putting it like this. Of course, the end pieces. Also, you want to make sure that these counters are placed right here also, so you can avoid this from happening. And same with the shelves. Turn this up here. I did mess up there. Now you got a counter right here. Now, if you want to use some decorations right here in the middle with no game passes, I'll show you how to do that in a second. I can put one right here and right here. I think it will look good. Let's find out. This one away first. Maybe not. I think it will stick out too much. Again, this is a personal preference. If you don't mind that, go for it. I'm very OCD when it comes to symmetry. Even though I always leave some kind of mistake in there. It completely ruins the symmetry. Pretty much always. Then use these. I think they look alright. I think that looks good. Now you gotta walk in. Kitchen. And this is only when you don't have any walls on the sides. Sometimes what I like to do on the sides right here, also when there is no walls, you put the little fence right here. And then either use the staircase that I did here in the center and put it right there. Which looks, I think personally, it looks pretty nice. Or what I'll sometimes do as well, let me get rid of this. Let's put a wall right here. And instead of using the ladders that I use right here, I use windows. Now you can either use the open windows, which looks nice. Personally, I think that looks nice. Or use the closed ones. This is of course what you prefer yourself. Or even create like a little design. You're gonna be using a design like this, and keep this one like an open spot right there in the dead center. And you put like a pillar in the middle. Put the smaller pillars on the sides. Now the only problem that you're gonna have is that if these windows are any other different color than the pillars are, it's gonna overlap and also flicker if you put a texture on it. So what I like to do is make it all look the same, so you don't see that. That creates a nice little effect. Right? Guys think? Good? Now, you can do a lot of things with these. Let's try this one. With this style. But it's put it too close, I think. zoom with tip. There you go. I like these sides more because if you create this little corner crevice right here, you can push the paintings that you're going to be using as a splash screen in the back by starting it right here. And then finishing it all the way over here without having to worry about it not fitting here. So as you can see, it's kind of hidden. Little piece that is left. You can fill it up nicely. Goes nicely with me that I put it actually in the right place, which is one higher. Right there. There you go, a little splash screen right here. Now, of course, I personally like to leave a little space open so that you can see part of the wall, which is the reason why you would create this effect. Something like so you get the different parts of the walls. Now, if you want to create like a little border around it, which is normally what the splash screens tend to have, use the lights. Now, do remember when you use this, also put it halfway on the painting. Just fix these lights to make this some kind of dark gray, so that they don't actually light up as much. Like any kind of dark color would work. So don't actually light up anything, and you can border up the whole place. Because if you have lights inside of your kitchen, or if this kitchen is right next to a bedroom or something, it's gonna light it up like Christmas tree, and you won't be able to see anything. So make sure that these, before you start cloning it, are not set on white, but on something dark. Because you're gonna be using the lights on these anyway. And these can be never go for institutional white, by the way, unless your house is like really dark colors, which would be like black or something. There you go, you got your splash screen. This texture looks pretty nice. If you want this one, it's just in the Roblox library. You just look up colored tiles or tiles. It should show up. I went for this one with colored tiles. You got your basic kitchen right here. Of course, you can add a bunch more pillars. One of the things that I did a few times also is use the other pillars, these, the square pillars, and put them there. I think I used that in the shoe villa. Not that far out, but it's a nice little effect, I think. Now it might be a little bit too much. It does take up space. And a counter. Looks better. Now, as for the no game pass, I'm gonna turn off the game passes. Again, don't put the stove right there. So you have the same problems even without the game passes. The problem with the no game passes here is that you cannot put them right there. So you do have to go one out, which in this case would be right there, which will end up making you have one of the smaller squares left. But this, if I remember correctly, sink is still gonna, yeah, still gonna be the same problem. Let's finish this counter right here. But the nice thing I like about this version, more than the no Game Pass or the Game Pass version, is that you actually need this extra piece right here. So you can put your deep fryer right there. As you can see, you're gonna have 2 squares left. I'm gonna put the drawers right there. You can use for your cooking. And here you can just leave it like that. Alright. Now, if you wanna... Now let's finish this part first. I generally don't like using... Ooh, what's going on? I like using these on no game passes because of this. And the reason for that is because the counters stick out, as you can see right here a little bit. You have to start moving. I think this still worked though. Yeah. If you put the counter right there in the middle. Yeah. And put the other one, the other end. Now, same thing you can do with the stove. If you put the stove right there, as you can see, the counter will just move itself closer. Let's make it like that. Let's see. So we're gonna put no Game Pass kitchens are a pain. Right. Put stove right here. And the counter right there. Now we do lose one counter here, but you can still have this. Now again, the same thing is here that we're going to be doing with the coffee. We're going to put it over here. We are going to put one more here. This is going to be a normal closet. Let's fill it up. And now for this one with the no game passes, I do like using the shelves right there in the corner. Unlike I did with this, because we cannot use the pillars the same way that we did over here. I just use the shelved cabinets over here. Put one out. One out. As you can see, you lose some of the side. Jeff, right there. Also make sure you put it this way that I just did, if not you cannot do this. But then you get your kitchen like this. Of course you don't need this many microwaves, but you want these shelves to put some stuff right there. Now as for these staircases, we can use these the same way that we did over here with the game passes. There's gonna be a little counting, and then hopefully I don't mess up. So 1, 2, or 1, 2. It's right there. And 2 shelves. I don't think I can do it this way. Let's find out. if shoot it is the right way. Put my shelf right way. And shoot the connector. I think I messed up. No. Alright. So you can see it's gonna be one little square further. Is it the one? Why do you want to? Okay. Something feels off here. I have a feeling I messed this one up. It should be right here. It says 2. This one is 1. Oh, why? But you don't want to use the end pieces with the pillars. If you do want to use the end pillars, which is something I should have probably just done in the first place, not waste this time messing, trying to figure out what the heck I did wrong here. Yep. And then you go too. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of other things that you can do here that you see me do in a few of my builds that I will show in a second. I put only one. It fits more than one right there. I think we have to do this 4x4. Make it look a little cleaner. There we go. So this side is shorter than this one. Got a nice little corner. You can also do the exact same thing over here that you see in the top corner right here, and do it on this corner. Create a little bit more of a detail. But as you can see, even with no game passes, you can have the staircase or pillars, like I did nowhere. You can put the pillar right here in the middle instead of the staircase. But like I mentioned earlier, if you put anything in the middle right here, which I'll show you right now. You have these OCD moments like I do. You can see it's never truly gonna be in the center. And instead of that, you have extra space right here that I don't like. No. See? It's never gonna be centered. So it's gonna look a little off. Again, personal preference, whichever you prefer. I don't like it because of this. But it's up to you. Generally what I would do is use this little space right here to fill it up. Especially when you don't have the game passes. That's it for the wooden kitchens. Now you can mix and match a lot of these things to your personal liking. That's completely up to you. I wanted to show you different versions of rooms where you can build the same kitchen. Of course, when you do the islands, make sure you have enough space to do an island, which in this case would be the 6 open space, which would create the open concept kitchen where you just walk into it. Because if you have walls right here, getting an island like this is not gonna work as well. It works, like I can show you right now. If this room would be completely closed, Just wanna like this. And for example, we have doorways right here. And create something like this. Still looks nice, especially if you have rooms on both ends. But generally you don't have a kitchen in a corner like this. So it's either gonna be at the end piece and then here's gonna be another room. But it still looks nice, I think, especially if you go crazy on the pillars, like I have a serious issue with pillars. And put pillars right here. Oops. You can see that with the island creates an extra little effect. Right there. That looks pretty cool, I think. And there's two little doorways right here. But this is entirely up to you. This is all for this tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys found this useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to see more of these in a specific style or texture, let me know in the comments below. And I hope to see you in the next one. Remember, be kind, stay awesome. Take care.